I'm Brian Stillwell with Pneumatic Dyno. This is my 74 Barracuda. I have a 383 big block Mopar in it, and I'm going to be putting the Wildcard 2 EFI on it. If you're interested in what comes with the Wildcard 2 kit, I have another video on that. I'll put a link in the description and also up above here. Well, my multi-port journey started earlier this year when Aces sent me a Joker 440 kit to test. So I threw together a 440 just to test this. It ran pretty good. It was a junkyard short block that only lasted about 2 weeks before I ate a rod bearing in it, which is perfectly fine. You can see here doing this acceleration test, the amount of blow-by coming out. It was ridiculously worn out, but it still actually drove very well and made decent power. Here it made 325 horse and 390 foot-pounds torque through some 2¼ inch exhaust, so not bad. So I needed to continue testing, so I was going to use my 383 to do it. Stabbed that back in. I ordered an Edelbrock Victor 383 intake manifold, very comparable to the Aces single plane manifold for the 440. So very apples to apples there, other than the fact that it is narrower. Had a company called 417 Motorsports weld in these bungs and put the fuel rails on it. Did a very nice job of that. So if you compare it to an Edelbrock Performer RPM, it's with a 1-inch spacer. They're the same height. For anyone wondering about hood clearance issues using the Edelbrock Victor, if you already have experience using the Performer RPM. I was testing my injectors for another video I was making, and I actually found that I had a weak injector. So it was a good thing I was doing this test at the pressure that my in-tank pump runs. Anything below 2 milliseconds pulse width, the injector would just flat shut off, and anywhere else it would run about 30% shy. So contacted Aces about it, and they sent me a new set of injectors. But while I was waiting, I just did an offset on this injector and ran it a little fatter so that I would never go below that pulse width and could continue testing, because I was way too excited to get this thing going and just wanted to drive it. On to the exciting part. Ripping off this Edelbrock Performer RPM intake manifold that I've had for this engine since 2007. It's been through a lot in those years. I had a Killshot 2 Pro on here, doing some firmware testing on it. Time to get that off of there. All the installs I have on this are done very quickly, so that's why there is a rat's nest of wiring. The weekend that I filmed this, I had 4 systems on the car, so the quicker I could do it, the better. One good thing about doing intake swaps on a big block Mopar is the only thing going through that intake is air. There's no coolant, there's no oil to worry about, and they have a, in stock configuration, a sheet metal valley pan, doubles as a gasket, so it makes it really easy to do a quick intake manifold swap. And then putting the Wildcard 2 system on it was just as quick as taking the Killshot 2 out. I already had dual widebands on it from the Joker system. Hook the bare necessities up and get it fired up to run on the dyno. So it's a new day. There is some stuff I did off of camera, like I stabbed the distributor, got it set, ran the wizard. I did record the wizard part, but went through, did kind of a wire and fuel check, leak check, all those things. Because I wasn't about to do that last night. If you're working on something late, do yourself a favor and don't start it that night. Wait till the next day. Double check everything. You'll probably find something that you missed or that needs finished up. Just take your time with it. Nothing like causing more problems for yourself at 2 in the morning. Okay, switch systems to the Wildcard 2. Yes, I would like to run the wizard. Imperial, air fuel, stock cam, anti-clockwise or counterclockwise. Yeah, I've got a 1040 equivalent in here. Go dual. These are 65-pound injectors. 389 after being bored. 18436.572. Yep, that's correct. Yeah, 50's fine. Save. Now I'm going to lock the timing. Set to 15 for static. And I'm going to lock it so I can get my distributor set where I need to, using a push button to crank it over without the fuel on, and twist my distributor to make sure it's dead on. Alright, so this is just the initial fire up, just to see if it'll start and everything. Haven't hooked a laptop up to it or anything. Don't have time to tune it right now. Just want to see if it'll start. I mean, there's liftoff. Well, dyno time got cut short right away by a header failure. Header's 18 years old, so it doesn't really owe me anything, but it's quite a pain to change out. So changing the headers on the CUDA here. And just a quick tip for anyone with a big block Mopar and headers. Easiest way that I have found to change the plugs is to yank out the motor mount bolt and just lift the engine up. And that gets you all kinds of access that normally is taken up by the power steering and stuff. So yeah, way easier. Pop out the motor mount bolt, just lift the thing up a little bit. Had some time on a Sunday to finish swapping out the injectors and get the exhaust finished up. It was 70 degrees in November, so figured why not go and drive it around, see how the Wildcard 2 does out in the wild instead of just on the dyno. I gotta say, I am pleasantly impressed with how this did. The only things I really did on the dyno was get my base table set and do, I think, 1 or 2 pulls before my exhaust failed. Honestly, just letting it do its own thing at this point off of some very base calibrations, and it did great. The throttle response was wonderful, the drivability was great, wide open throttle was wicked out of the gate. For the average consumer that's just bolting this thing on and going, I think they will be very pleasantly surprised with how it performs. Now, we will be putting it back on the dyno, see what we can get out of it power-wise, see how close the learn was, or how close my fuel table was, just on a quick guess. But there's just something about going for a nice cruise through the Black Hills of South Dakota that makes the world seem a little bit better, at least for the moment. And I was going to live that up as long as I could this day. Not exactly ideal weather for having the dyno go. Oh well, good horsepower at least. So a fair bit of time went by between my test drive and when I got the car back on the dyno, just from other projects and testing out some new firmware for the Killshot and the Aces Wild. But now we finally got the Wildcard 2 back on and making noise until I ran out of fuel and had to continue the next day because I didn't have time to go get more. Alright, new day, back in action. Got this thing dialed in and man, it did not disappoint. Made a couple pulls, did my 36-degree comparison run, and then bumped it up to 38 degrees and made even more power. We'll go over that after these runs. First thing I wanted to go over is earlier in this video I did a run with the air cleaner set up in a way so it was just the lid letting air through, and on that run it made 346 horsepower and 364 foot-pounds, the lines in red. The pull you just saw a moment ago with 36 degrees of timing made 428 horsepower and 475 foot-pounds. And here's what I mean by that. Look at this lid and the little amount of air it can let through in comparison to having the entire filter element there. Here we have the last two Wildcard tube runs versus the Killshot 2 Pro run, which used to be the champion for the most power and torque on this car. I run every system at 36 degrees of total advance. That way I have as many variables removed as possible between systems. The car never left the dyno. It wasn't restrapped. None of that was any different between these pulls. The Wildcard 2 at 36 degrees made 474 foot-pounds, 428 horse. I added 2 degrees above 4,000 RPM and got up to 478 foot-pounds of 439 horse. This engine being as worn out as it is, the more runs I do that day, the less RPM I can get out of it. So that is why you see that final run trail off before the others. It probably would have made even more power if it hadn't done that. So in conclusion, after some driving and dyno time, I'd say the Wildcard is a pretty good setup. The Wildcard 2 specifically on this one. It's burnout approved, dyno approved, cruises great. I actually lowered my overall engine temperature somehow with it. I think switching to the Multiport maybe had better fuel distribution than that old duoplane. But all in all, I am very happy with it. It makes this thing a lot more enjoyable to drive even than the throttle body injection was, which is already a hoot to drive with that. So yeah, go buy a Wildcard 2. They're pretty great. If you need any tuning, check with me.